Stride Audio Show.
Presented by Speak English with Us.
Quick question: when the server says, "What can I get you?" do you instantly feel your brain go blank, or do you stay calm and order like a local?
If you stay calm, please teach me your superpower, because I've seen people freeze over a menu like it's a final exam.
And that's exactly the problem. You know the food, but your mouth gets stuck between "I want" and "can I have," and suddenly the whole table feels louder.
I've done that. I once pointed at the menu like a lost detective, then said, "This one." The server was polite, but my soul left my body.
This is a B1 level episode, perfect for intermediate learners. Beginners, you're welcome too. We're not doing grammar drills today. We're building restaurant flow.
And by flow, we mean the real-life sequence, entering, ordering, adding details, asking for small extras, then paying without the awkward ending.
Exactly. And there is one thing we discovered. If you learn food English as chunks, not isolated words, your mouth stops panicking so fast.
Quick challenge: what's harder for you, A, ordering steak, or B, splitting the bill? Say the letter in your head. No pressure.
Stay until the end for our Word Tour 5 expressions you'll hear in real restaurants and actually use. Not textbook lines. Real ones.
And I'm guessing some of you are listening while staring at a menu right now, pretending you're just browsing when you're actually sweating.
Maybe you're in a cafe, maybe you're in a busy restaurant, or maybe you're just trying to remember how to ask for water without sounding robotic.
The good news is, this isn't about having perfect English. It's about sounding natural enough that the conversation keeps moving, and you don't feel trapped.
So later, we'll show you a tiny trick for each step of the meal. And it starts with the words you already know, just in better combinations.
Nice? That means by the end, "What can I get you?" won't feel like a trapdoor anymore.
Let's start with the moment you sit down. The menu opens, the server smiles, and your brain starts doing cartwheels. That's usually where the panic begins.
Oh, absolutely. I used to stare at the menu like it was written in code, then say something tiny like, this one. Not very inspiring.
That's the exact place where chunking in context helps. You don't memorize random words. You memorize the mini scenes that happen in order.
So instead of learning food vocabulary as a giant pile, we learn the little turns inside the meal. Entering, ordering, tweaking, waiting, paying. That kind of map?
Yes, and that map matters. If you know the sequence, your brain has less to juggle. Less juggling means less freezing, less blank staring, less sweating at the table.
Less sweating is a beautiful goal. I've had that shiny forehead moment when someone asked, "How would you like your steak?" and I suddenly forgot every adjective in English.
That happens because the pressure isn't just language. It's timing, choice, and social speed all at once. The good news is you only need a few ready-made moves.
So let's make it real. If the server says, "What can I get you?" what do you say without sounding stiff?
You can say, "I'll go with the chicken." That sounds calm, natural, and decisive. It's not dramatic. It's just easygoing.
Right, and "go with" feels softer than "I want." It sounds like you've looked at the options and picked one, not like you're barking an order.
Exactly. And here's the hidden benefit. Once you say, "I'll go with the chicken," the next step feels easier. Your mouth already has a rhythm.
Then the server asks about sauce or dressing, and people often get stuck because they know the thing but not the phrase.
That's where "on the side" saves you. If you want dressing separate, you say, "Dressing on the side, please." Short, clean, useful.
I love that one because it fixes a very real problem. Some people hate soggy salad, and some people just want control over the chaos.
Totally. And it's not only salad. You can ask for sauce on the side, fries on the side, anything that needs a little space between the food and the liquid.
So the phrase is small, but the effect is huge. You sound like someone who knows the restaurant game instead of someone guessing.
Exactly. And when they ask about steak, you don't need a huge speech. You can say, medium rare, please. That's clear, confident, and very restaurant native.
I used to think medium was enough. Then I got a steak that felt like a tire and I realized, oh, the detail matters.
That's the heartbreak of underspecifying. The server isn't a mind reader. They need the exact level, especially with steak.
So medium rare is not about sounding fancy. It's about giving the kitchen a precise target so you get what you actually wanted.
Right, and if you want to practice the rhythm, try this out loud. I'll go with the salmon, dressing on the side. Medium rare, please. Notice how each part is short.
Nice. Let's do a tiny drill. I'll be the nervous customer and you be the server. Ready?
Ready? Go ahead. And make it awkward.
I want the burger and maybe not the sauce, please.
Stop right there. That's understandable, but it sounds hesitant and chopped up. In a real restaurant, you want one smooth chunk, not 3 broken pieces.
So what's the fix?
Say, I'll go with the burger, no sauce, please. Or burger, sauce on the side. Both sound natural. The first sounds decisive. The second sounds flexible.
That's such a better shape. My old version sounded like I was negotiating with the universe.
Exactly, and that's the whole idea of chunking in context. You don't build the sentence from scratch every time. You pull out the shape that fits the scene.
And once the order is in, the next problem is usually tiny but awkward. You want water, napkins, or maybe a fork because the table setup is weird.
Yes, and people often go silent there because they think it has to be a full sentence. It doesn't. A simple, could we get some water, works beautifully.
Or, could I get a napkin? Short, polite, done. No need for a theatrical speech.
Exactly. And if you want to ask for the check later, you'll want another natural phrase. But we're not there yet.
I like that we're moving in order. Entry, order, tweak, wait, pay. Once you see the pattern, restaurant English stops feeling like random survival mode.
And the beautiful part is that these phrases are already hiding in everyday conversation. You just need to catch them in the moment and reuse them.
Also, can we admit that I'll go with sounds cooler than I want in a restaurant? It's like the difference between grabbing and choosing.
Exactly. One sounds rushed, the other sounds settled. And that's why it works.
One more thing. People often think they need a long explanation when they ask for changes, but in real life, shorter is safer.
Yes, the kitchen wants clarity, not poetry. On the side gives clarity. Medium rare gives clarity. Go with gives clarity.
And that's the pattern we want. Short chunk, clear intention, smooth delivery. No extra mental wrestling.
And by the way, there is a phrase for this. It's called split the check. We'll break it down later because that one saves you from the awkward bill moment.
Oh, that bill moment. The table goes quiet, somebody starts pretending to be busy, and suddenly everyone becomes deeply interested in their water glass.
Exactly. And that's why we'll keep building the meal flow step by step. For now, just remember the shape, pick, tweak, clarify, and keep moving.
If you can say those chunks smoothly, you already sound more natural than someone who knows 100 food words but can't connect them.
Let's talk through the tricky part, how you speak up naturally during ordering, especially when you want to customize. Like when the server asks, how would you like your steak?
Totally. I usually say medium, but I feel like that's not enough. Adding medium rare sounds better, but I'm not sure about other details.
You're right. But here's a debate for us. Is it really necessary to customize every time? Wouldn't sticking to simple phrases keep things easier and safer?
Hold on, I disagree. When you add small details like on the side or medium rare, it shows you know what you want, and that helps avoid surprises.
That's true, but some people feel it's intimidating. What if you try and mess up? Isn't it sometimes better to keep it simple and just enjoy the meal?
But wait, a small phrase like on the side can totally change your experience. Imagine you hate soggy salad drenched in dressing. If you don't say dressing on the side, you might regret it.
I see your point. But what about people who freeze, don't speak much, and just want the meal to come quickly? Adding too many details might make them more nervous.
That may happen, but it's about building confidence step by step. You don't have to say everything at once, just one phrase at a time, like choosing medium rare instead of just medium.
Okay, but I've also seen people use phrases wrong, like someone said, "Give me the sauce on the side," but the server got confused because the tone was too demanding.
Good point. Tone matters a lot. But isn't that a different skill from vocabulary? You could know the words but need to soften your tone.
Absolutely. It's not just about words, it's about how we say them. So maybe sometimes it's better to use super simple phrases if you're unsure about tone and body language.
But wait, don't you think that limits learning? If people avoid details, they miss chances to sound natural and polite. That's why go with is great. You can say, I'll go with is great. You can say, I'll go with the salmon instead of I want.
I like that. Go with sounds casual, like you're casually choosing without pressure. It's less formal and more natural.
Exactly. It makes your order sound smoother. Plus, it helps with confidence. If you freeze, using a phrase like, I'll go with, gives you a safe way in.
But what about splitting the bill? That moment is often so awkward. Do you think saying split the check is clear enough, or do people still struggle?
Most people don't say it clearly. They point at the bill or say separate, which can confuse servers. Saying, could we split the check, is simple and polite. But many don't know that.
Yeah, and some are afraid it sounds rude or too direct. The cultural aspect matters. Some people think that's impolite in certain countries.
But if you don't ask, you might get a surprise when the bill arrives. It's important to be upfront. And split the check is actually very common in most English-speaking countries.
So it sounds like the real challenge is balancing clarity, politeness, and confidence. You want to be clear but not pushy, right?
Spot on. And practice helps. The more you say these phrases naturally, the less stressed you feel.
Still, I get why some freeze. The pressure of ordering in a new language with all these little details can feel overwhelming.
Totally. That's why breaking it down helps focus on 3 core phrases per step. Start simple, then add details when you feel ready.
So here's my question. Would you rather feel nervous but try to add details, or keep it simple and risk sounding robotic?
I'd say try adding one new detail each time. Like next time, instead of medium, try medium rare.
That's a great step. And don't forget little stuff asked for water or napkins naturally. Saying, "Could I get some water?" is easy once you practice.
I once just nodded and smiled, waiting for water forever, pretending I didn't need anything. Not proud of that.
Hey, we all do that. The key is to build up confidence little by little.
So it's a process. Don't expect perfection, but keep practicing phrases like go with on the side, medium rare, split the check, and all set.
Absolutely, because once you've mastered these chunks, ordering food feels less scary and more natural. All right, so we've covered the ordering flow, the role play fixes, and the debate about whether chunks really work faster than translating.
And now, it's time for our word tour. We've got 5 powerful expressions today.
These are the exact words we used in our story. The ones that make you sound less like a tourist and more like someone who eats here twice a week.
Let's break them down, one by one.
Hearing all those restaurant moments again makes the phrases feel much less random. We weren't memorizing a list. We were moving through a real meal.
Exactly. The words stick when they live inside a scene. You hear the server, you feel the pressure, and then the phrase shows up right when you need it.
So let's start where the anxiety usually starts, deciding. In our story, go with came up when the choice was almost made, but the speaker wanted a softer, more natural finish.
Right? Instead of saying, I want the salmon, you can say, I'll go with the salmon. It sounds calmer, less demanding, and more like you've weighed the options.
And it's not just for food. You can say, I'll go with the blue one, or let's go with the shorter plan. The idea is that you've chosen after thinking, not just blurting out a demand.
It's a tiny phrase, but it changes the whole vibe. I want can feel blunt in a restaurant. Go with feels like you're already in the rhythm of the place.
Then there was that little phrase that solves a very specific problem. On the side. This one is for when you want something separate from the main dish.
I love this one because I have definitely been the person staring at a salad and thinking, why is the dressing everywhere? If you say dressing on the side, you keep the sauce separate.
And you can use it in so many real meals. Fries on the side, sauce on the side, ranch on the side. It's simple, but it gives you control without sounding fussy.
Which is great, because nobody wants to sound like a food detective holding a magnifying glass over the plate.
Exactly. And the phrase sounds especially natural because it's short. You don't need a long explanation. On the side does the job.
The next one is a classic restaurant detail, medium rare. This came up when we talked about steak, and it's a good example of a phrase you should say with confidence, not hesitation.
Because if you only say medium, you may not get what you actually want. Medium rare tells the kitchen exactly how you'd like it cooked. Juicy, pink in the middle, not overdone.
And if you're nervous, just remember the pattern. I'll have the steak medium rare, please. That sentence is short, clear, and it sounds completely normal.
It also helps you feel less trapped when the server asks a detailed question. You don't need a perfect speech. You just need the exact phrase that fits the moment.
Then we had the payment moment, which is where a lot of people suddenly become very polite and very vague. Split the check is the phrase that saves you from awkward pointing.
Yes, and it's the kind of phrase that makes everyone at the table relax. You're not guessing, you're not doing hand signals, you're just asking clearly.
You can say, can we split the check? Or, we'd like to split the check. It sounds smooth and the server knows exactly what you mean.
And if one person pays first, or the group wants separate bills, the same phrase still works in most casual settings. It's a small phrase with a big social payoff.
Then we end at the nicest part of the meal, all set. This one is so useful because it works in two directions. For the server and for you.
Right. The server might ask, are you all set? And that means, do you need anything else? You can also say, I'm all set, which means I'm finished. Thanks.
It's such a clean little phrase. No drama, no extra words, just a calm way to say everything is done.
And when you hear it in real life, it can sound like the meal is finally at peace. You're not scrambling anymore. You're just there, finished and comfortable.
That's why these phrases matter. They're not vocabulary, floating in space. They're shortcuts through the whole restaurant experience.
Try saying them out loud in sequence. I'll go with the chicken. Dressing on the side. Medium rare. Can we split the check? I'm all set. That's a whole meal in one breath.
And somehow it sounds way less scary when it's broken into chunks. Your brain stops wrestling the menu and starts following the flow.
So today we took that awkward restaurant moment and turned it into a simple flow. Choose, customize, pay, leave.
And the big idea was never no more words. It was use the right chunk at the right moment so your mouth doesn't freeze when the server is waiting.
If you want to practice this tonight, try 3 tiny drills, say 1 full order out loud, add 1 customization like on the side, and finish with 1 payment line.
Exactly. And keep it realistic. Don't memorize a perfect speech. Pick the meal you actually order because your brain trusts familiar details more than fake examples.
I've done this before, and it helped a lot. The first time I stopped translating every word and started using chunks, I felt way less pressure. And way more control.
My version was messier. I used to overthink steak so much that I forgot the sentence halfway through. Once I practiced medium rare and split the check as whole phrases, the awkwardness dropped fast.
So here's the simple takeaway. Don't fight the whole restaurant at once. Learn the entrance line, the order line, the detail line, and the exit line. Then rehearse them like a tiny route.
And if one phrase feels stiff, just repeat it in a few meals. Repetition in context beats random memorizing every single time.
Before you go, we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments which restaurant phrase feels most awkward for you right now.
We read every single comment. Thanks for listening, and see you next time. Maybe at the table, maybe in the kitchen, but definitely with more natural English.